Hi, I'm Kimmy with On William Street, and we are here to help you become a more confident quilter, from the piecing to the quilting and everything in between. So this week we are back to finish our 2023 quilt along. Don't forget, all the information we're going to talk about today can be found in a blog post, and we'll have that linked below the video, so you can head over there, check out the blog post, and also check out our shop and find your next modern quilting project. So this year we have been doing our quilt as you go quilt along, and we have all of the blocks quilted and sewn together now, and now we're just ready to finish it out. You kind of have two options here. You could just go ahead and trim all the edges up to match and bind it as is, but if you want to add a little bit of a border to match the sashing in between the blocks, that's what we're going to go over today. So to add borders onto this, we're going to need some 2 1/4 inch strips, and you're going to need 6 of those, just the whole width of the fabric. And then cut off the selvage and then go ahead and sew those together. You can sew them on a bias, you can just sew them straight across, whatever you're most comfortable with, that's totally fine. Now we're ready to add the borders. We have our 2 1/4 inch strips all sewn together. Normally I would tell you to measure it, cut them to length, but because this is already sewn to the batting down, we're not going to really stress too much over adding lots of extra. Just make sure you're not pulling on this as you're sewing it. Make sure that it's laying loose. You could also go through and pin it ahead of time, loosely laid, so that you don't pull on it and add extra fabric there. What we're going to do is we're just going to start on the sides, and we're going to put it right along the edge, and I'm not going to trim anything yet because we want this underneath our border. Put it on the sides, and then we're just going to sew the 1/4 inch. After you've sewn down the side, like I said, make sure you're not pulling on that, pin it in place so it doesn't move. Then we're just going to fold it over and then go through and just add the couple of lines like we have here in our sashing. So just one kind of close, and then one two a little farther away. So we're just going to go ahead and add that all the way down both sides. After you finish both sides, take whatever you've got left and then just repeat the process for the tops and the bottoms. But now you're going to be going all the way out to the edge here. Line it up along the edge. If you have a spot where when you joined them, they aren't perfectly lined up here, we're just going to kind of maneuver that a little bit so that we can make sure to get that covered up. If it sticks out, just disregard it. If it sticks in a little bit, just maneuver it just a little bit. No one's going to be looking that close to know that it's in just a tiny bit there. So put it along the top and the bottom. Again, the same thing. Just going to sew our 1/4 inch, fold it over, and then we're going to add our couple of top lines so that it matches our sashing. And you can just do that straight lined down on the machine. If you like to use a walking foot, you can grab that, or just use your regular foot. And then the borders will be on. After that, for the binding, we like 2 1/4 inch binding strips. Same thing, you're going to need about 6 of them to do the binding all the way around. So that means you're going to want between 1/2 yard to about 5/8 of a yard of fabric, depending on if you want the 2 1/4 inch binding strips, or if you do them a little bit wider, you'll need a little bit more fabric. Also, if your fabric is less than 40 inches, I would cut an extra strip, and so do a little bit more, the 5/8 inch for your binding. If you have questions on how to bind, I'm going to throw a link to a video that we've gone over that, so that you have that information. We'll have that linked below this video as well. Now our quilt is all done and ready to use. We really hope you've had a lot of fun quilting along this year and trying some new free motion quilting motifs and getting more comfortable with that. I definitely encourage you to keep practicing. Now that you've done them on smaller squares, go ahead and pull out maybe some little bit bigger projects and just keep practicing until you feel comfortable doing bigger and bigger projects, so that you can finish your quilts on your machine if that's what you need to be able to do, and be confident and happy with the results. But it's really just going to take a lot of time and practice, so just have fun with it and just keep going. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We are here to help you. You can shoot us an email, leave a comment on the video. Also, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook. And don't forget that the information is in the blog post. We are also going to be kind of announcing what we're doing for next year. If you want to be the first to know about that, make sure to sign up for our newsletter on our website, and you'll be the first to hear about next year's quilt projects and anything that we have going on there as well. And happy quilting.